Welcome to the Leicester vs Liverpool Premier League preview show. We've got a lot to discuss here, and we've got to put the bad form right. And I'm delighted to announce that I'm joined with Salah and Charlie. Big game, isn't it, Charlie? We'll start with you.
Yeah, it's a massive game. I think if we don't win this game, top four's very uncertain. I think, well, Champions League will have to be our main focus the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a must-win, and I think if we win this game, then we can try and go far in the Champions League. But if we do not win this one, I think it's put all eggs in one basket and just go for the Premier League and make sure we do get that top four and stick in there. How big of a game do you think this is going to be, Salah?
It's probably one of the biggest games this season. It's because Leicester strong side, probably rivals for the top four. So we have to win this. 3 points is necessary when you go to King Power on Saturday. So yeah, it's a very important game.
Yeah, 100%. And some worrying news I have to start with obviously apparently Fabinho and Thiago were not pictured at the club training ground today. So hopefully that's nothing serious, and our injury crisis doesn't worsen yet again. But previous results against, obviously we lost 2 games in a row to Brighton, Man City. Obviously it's going to be a difficult game. We know that, but how big do you think it is in this Liverpool dressing room? Do you think they know it's a big game, or do you think they're thinking, we'll go far in the Champions League because they got Champions League on the Tuesday? Do you think they'll think, have one eye on the Champions League, or do you think they'll be fully focused to get the job done at Leicester? What do you think, Charlie?
I think they'll have 100% focus on this game, because I think a lot of the players, they want to be playing Champions League football. That's an absolute minimum. If we're playing Europa League, it's just get bantered completely. And the players the profile just shoots down. And yeah, I think they'll be very focused on this game. I'm expecting a very good performance from us.
Yeah, and the future as well, because players will want to come to teams playing in the Champions League, and if we're playing in the Europa League, it's probably not going to attract the best players. So it's a must that we do get the Champions League. But are you expecting Klopp to rotate for this one, Salah?
Yeah, massively. I think Kabak will come into the side. There have been rumours. I think Kabak will start alongside Fabinho, even though he's not pictured. Just because you're not pictured as a training guard doesn't mean he's injured. Could be taken away.
Yeah, I hope so.
I remember Van Yardem wasn't pictured at the training ground earlier this season as well. He's just taking a rest. So was Bobby. So I think he'll start Kabak, put Henderson into that midfield, and front three will be normal. I don't think he'll make this.
Yeah, I think it's vital that we do have Henderson in the midfield, because he brings so much more to the midfield than what we have seen. Do you think Kate will come in for this one, Salah? I know you've been you want him to come in.
I want Kate to start. He has to, but I think if you're going to talk about more realistically, I want him to start. Let's start, because he always has a very good game against Leicester. But I think Leipzig seems more likely for him. Leicester may be too soon for him at the moment.
Yeah, it may be too soon for Jota as well. They've got a decent outfit, Leicester. It's not, when you say Leicester in the top 3, it's quite familiar. Over the past few seasons, they've been up there and abouts, and they've been competing for the top 4 consistently now. So it's not a fluke. They are a really good side, and they've got a lot of players to watch out for. They've got Maddison, they've got Vardy, Tielemans. And do you know what, guys? One person I've been impressed with is Castagna, because obviously Chilwell went to Chelsea for, I think it was 50 million. Castagna's come in and he ticked every box that was needed to be ticked in order to maintain that top 4 spot. So I think he's done exceptionally well. But how big of a threat do you think that Vardy will be in this game, Charlie? And do you think he'll score? Do you think that if Kabak comes in, he may have a poor game? Or what's your thoughts? What's your predictions for Saturday?
Well, Vardy is very threatening. He scored 7 goals in 12 games against us in the Premier League, which is an amazing record. I think because we play such a high line, he's got pace to get him behind. That's why he scores the goals. And our 2 centre-backs, whoever we play, they won't have great pace. So I definitely think he'll get on the score sheet this game, unfortunately. But I must add, we've got 6 wins in the last 7 league games against Leicester, and the other one was a draw. So we've got a good record against Leicester.
Yeah, I think it has to be said. We do have a good record against Leicester, but Maddison's hitting top form. Do you think he'll be a big threat, Salah? Do you think, he could be amongst the goals if Leicester do score on the weekend?
Maybe not the goals, but 100% Maddison's the biggest threat because he can shoot from outside the box. Like, we're not quick at closing down players. We have that ability. He can also create. He's a player that's overall good. He's a very good player. I love Maddison. I would love him to see in a Liverpool shirt. But he's the biggest threat on Saturday because, wow, what a player. He's a great player.
Yeah, he's a great player, it has to be said. And, he just looks like he's hitting top form. He's going to try and fight for that England shirt. So, ever since he didn't get picked for England, he's just hit this form where he's just scoring or assisting every game week. So he's a massive threat. I think, obviously, I think it'll be vital that Henderson does go back into midfield because I think we'll need to score a few if we do get past Leicester, and we cannot afford to drop off like we have done. And I think the rest, the 6-day rest, should do the boys all the good, and they should be back feeling a bit more refreshed and energized, ready for the game, because they've got a big 2 games, obviously, to define what route they take for the rest of the season. Obviously, if they beat Leicester, they can put full focus onto Leipzig. However, if they don't, or they may draw against Leicester, I do feel like that's almost like a loss. And then, like Charlie said, they'll have to go for full focus on the Premier League, which is obviously... So it's a must-win game. We have to get past Leicester in order to focus on the Champions League. And yeah, it's been held in Budapest. It was confirmed the other day. There was speculation if it was going to feature in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I think it was. Do you think that Liverpool are slightly disadvantaged with the trip to Budapest, because it's quite a long trip actually? If I looked at the map, it's quite a long trip. Charlie, do you think Liverpool will be massively disadvantaged going into the Leipzig game?
I don't think it's a massive disadvantage. They used to travel. They've been to Belgrade, they've been to Maribor, wherever that is, and I think they're just used to it by now, to be honest. So yeah, I don't think it's that much of a disadvantage.
Yeah, and I think because Liverpool are playing at 12:30, I think they obviously get an extra few hours rest. And I know Klopp doesn't like the 12:30 slot. Usually, he's expressed his anger for Liverpool being selected in that time slot. But injury news looking like Jota and Keita are both most likely return to the Leipzig game on Tuesday, unless anything happens drastically in training. Same with we hope Fab, Thiago, like you said, Salah. I hope they get back, and I hope it's not just a coincidence that they weren't photographed at the training ground. But yeah, team predictions. Do you think Kabak will come into this game, and do you think Henderson will go into the midfield, or will we see Henderson stay in the defence? And who knows, maybe Nat Phillips come back in if Fabinho's out. Who knows? Salah, what do you think the team prediction is going to be, and how will Klopp line up for this one?
Alisson, Trent, Kabak, Fabinho, Robertson, Curtis, Henderson, Thiago, Curtis, Henderson, Ronaldo, Salah, Mane, Firmino. Yeah,
Wijnaldum will be rested this game. He's played a lot of football, and hasn't he like 1 yellow card away from suspension? I'm not so sure, but at this rate, he'll get suspended.
I don't want him to play ideally, but Thiago, I think he hasn't been performing to the standard, and he has played every game since he's come back from injury. So maybe right to give Thiago a rest for this game, because I think Leipzig would be the perfect game for him, the way Leipzig plays. So I I rest Thiago for Leicester and play Wijnaldum, Curtis and Henderson.
But who else is going to play in that like Wijnaldum slot? Because I think Thiago needs a rest. Milner's just average. And who else have you got? No one like that you want to play. And I think, like Salah said, like Thiago is perfect for the Leipzig game, especially because he's played against them probably for like 4 seasons now. So they know how they play. So I think he'd be better for the Leipzig game.
Yeah. You think he'll get rested for this game as well, I assume, Charlie? Do you think he'll get rested, and for the Leipzig game then he'll probably come in?
Yeah, I think Thiago's been poor since he's come in. And might be because of injury, might be because he's been thrown in straight away after injury. But even so, he has been poor, and I think he does need the rest. And I think the Leipzig game is the right game for him to start.
Yeah, and I agree. I think if the things aren't going our way in Leicester, I think he is an impact player that can make an instant impact off the bench. We've seen it, do that against Chelsea. I think he started against Everton, but he was much more energised than he has been of recent. Maybe that's because of his injury. I'm not so sure. But yeah, I think he'll get rested for this one, the same as you guys. Do you think that Curtis will keep his place in this one, Charlie? Salah thinks he will. I think he will. Do you think he will?
Well, yeah, I think he will, and he definitely deserves it. Like we said on the Man City review, he was the only good player in that game. Maybe Salah was decent, but Jones was the shining light in a dark day for us, really. So yeah, I think he definitely deserves to start against Leicester.
Yeah, he's a promising player. He's a promising talent. And yeah, hopefully he starts for us. Well, Liverpool beat Leicester in the last game that we faced them. It was 3-0. I think it was Jota and Firmino with the 2 goals. And I think Johnny Evans got an own goal, if I remember rightly, in the first half. So what are your score predictions for this one, guys? How do you see it going? I'll start with you, Charlie.
I think scrape a 2-1. I think Vardy will score, Salah and Mane will score.
Salah, what about you? Where are you going?
1-0.
1-0, yeah.
Because Vardy's, I don't know, it's because Vardy couldn't do a lot against Fabinho and Matip at Anfield. I don't think he's like fully fit. Like he's just come back from injury. I don't think he hasn't hit his paces yet. So I think he'll scrape at 1-0. I think Mane will get the goal. I think Mane will get it.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, I think Liverpool will win. I think it'll be a bit of a goal fest. I think it'll be just about getting the job done. Like Charlie said previously in the video, I think when you've got Jamie Vardy in the team and Maddison in the likes of it, when he's hitting this form that he's hitting of recent, then you're going to have a tough time if you're not a quick centre-back. So I do fancy Leicester to score 2 goals in this game. I don't think they'll score 1. I think, they obviously drew 2 Wolves. I think it was 0-0. So they want to put that right and extend their gap over Liverpool in the top 4. Because I think if they win, they'll feel much more confident in their position. So I think it's a must-win for them as well as us. So it's a massive game. Both teams know they can't afford to slip up. I think Leicester probably the better team if they do slip up. But I think it'll be a 3-2. I think Vardy will get 2 goals. I think Mane will score 1 and Salah to get 2. I think that'll be how the game will pan out. But who knows? Klopp does like to throw some weird changes to the usual starting team, but yeah, hopefully he does well for this one.
Curtis doesn't start and Chamberlain will start.
Yeah.
I think there might be something wrong with Chamberlain in training because Klopp doesn't seem to give him that much time. He's made 2 appearances in the last few games off the bench for 5 minutes. I think there's something wrong with Chamberlain. I think he's not showing it in training. I don't think he's working hard enough.
Yeah, I agree, actually. I think for the amount of... I don't think he's picked up an injury since the, obviously, knee one that kept him out the start of the season. But like Charlie said, I don't think really Klopp has given him much of a look in. If you consider the amount of injuries we've had to defence, you would have expected. Well, we have rotated the midfield. We've had Fabinho and Henderson obviously going into the back four. I thought I would have seen him a bit more than I have, knowing that, you know, he is available from what we know. So I was expecting him to obviously make start more games or come on more than he has been a recent. But yeah, I think he hasn't hit the same height as he did when he was in that 17-18 season where he was absolutely phenomenal. And then he got the injury against Roma, I think it was, and kept him out for a while. And he's just had little niggles ever since that he come back. So hopefully he comes back and becomes an impact player. But, you know, it's been a pleasure having you guys on this preview show. We're all going for Liverpool wins. Let's hope Klopp turns the form around. And and as well, rest in peace to Klopp's mum. Obviously, she passed away. I think it was 2 days before the Burnley game. Sorry.
It was on the 19th.
So yeah, rest in peace.
If you saw his goal against Tottenham, look how much it meant to him. Because remember when he at full time when he fist punched Diaz, he looked towards the sky.
Like it was really like a relieved sensation, wasn't it? Like that he got a goal. So yeah, rest in peace to Elizabeth Klopp, who died 81 years old. Please like the video, subscribe, and let's hit 20 likes on this video. It's been a pleasure to talk with you, Charlie, and it's been a pleasure to talk to you, Salah. Let's hope that it's a really good game. There's content coming your way on the L5 Star FC channel, so tune in for that. And yeah, it's been a pleasure.